Hiya. We've all found ourselves in that situation. We've worked hard, we've got a good CV, we've ended up with an interview to be an actuary or something. What we really want to be though is a stuntman or a disc jockey, so we really need to fail that interview. Well, don't worry, this is the video for you. I'm going to go through the 5 key steps you need to follow to make sure you fail that interview. You don't have to pursue an exciting, interesting, well-paid career as an actuary. Let's get started. So the first thing, really important thing we need to do no research on our potential employer. We don't even want to know how to pronounce the company's name. We don't want to look through their reporting accounts or any of their news stories to find out about their strategy or their values and how we might fit in well or not with them. We don't want to care why they're recruiting. We don't want to understand the kind of language they use, so we're mirroring it in our answers and appealing to the interviewers. We don't want to make sure we understand their needs, and therefore when we answer our questions they ask us, we give them lots of detail that hits all of those needs. And we don't want to look up the interviewers on LinkedIn or anything like that to find out what kind of things they're into. So again, we can help build rapport with those interviewers. Next, when we're constructing our CV, we're going to exaggerate, we're going to lie on our CV. We're not going to tailor our CV to the needs of that particular role and that particular employer. So all the questions are going to be on a tangent to what they need rather than naturally leading to all of the good skills we've got for them. We're not going to look through our CV. We're not going to make sure we understand and can explain and go into detail on any of the bits on our CV. We're not going to think they may well ask us to explain something complicated in technical language, so we're not going to go through our CV and find out what are the top 2 or 3 things they might ask us about and make sure we can explain those succinctly in simple language. If we've got any gaps, we're not going to think about explaining what happened in that period, how we had to take some time off to care for a sick relative, or we took some time off to train ourselves up and develop ourselves. We're just going to leave those gaps unexplained. We're going to think that the only thing that matters is that 45, 60 minutes in the interview room. We're not going to care if we turn up late. I'm not going to care if we turn up disheveled because we've been rushing. We didn't research how to get to the interview. We're not going to think that they're going to ask the receptionist how we were when we turned up. So if we're rude to them, it really doesn't matter. When we get escorted from the front desk up to the interview room, we're going to make some really odd small talk, which is going to make the interviewer get a bad first impression of us. If we happen to have an assessment day where we might be there all day and we're going to have breaks and lunch periods where they may bring in other members of the team to meet us, we're just going to assume that's a social event and we're going to tell people what we really think. So maybe we just want this job for 6 months to earn a bit of money. We're just going to come straight out and tell them that, even though it's a long-term job which the company really needs a good person in. We're probably going to make some silly jokes just to try and impress the people who are interviewing us. And again, as they escort us from the interview room back to reception so we can go home, we're going to make some more odd small talk. When we're in the interview, we're not going to look as though we're really interested in this job. We're not going to lean slightly forward. We're not going to react to what the interviewer says. If they say we're planning to grow 10%, we're going to act disinterested rather than going, okay, that's quite a big amount of growth you're trying to get this year. I'd like to know more about that. We're going to act nervous. We're going to avoid eye contact with the interviewers. We're going to look out the window, look disinterested, as if we really don't care about why we're there. We're going to give very brief answers. We're going to try and avoid giving answers, and when we do, we're going to make them very short, monotonic, no excitement, no passion at all. When we're asked the question, we're not going to reflect for a second or two, think about the right answer, collect our thoughts. We're just going to rush straight in and say whatever comes immediately to mind. Preferably before the interview is even finished asking the question, we're going to jump in and start answering the question we want to be asked rather than the exact question asked of us. We're going to not be particularly happy if they're asking us tough questions, which would maybe enable us to differentiate ourselves from other equally good candidates. And we're particularly going to be upset about being asked questions which might demonstrate we could do the job. So for instance, if we were at an interview for an actuary, we're not going to get a bit of a buzz out of answering the maths questions and really engaged with that kind of interesting thing for us if we're going to be doing that job, you know, all of our life. And every single interview at the end, they'll always leave 5, 10, 15 minutes, sometimes even longer, to enable us to ask questions of them. It's a perfect opportunity to find out about the company, find out about the role, the people you're going to be working with, the ambitions for the company and the people you're working with, where this role might go to. We're going to try and avoid that whatsoever. We don't want to ask any questions. We don't want to benefit from the fact we've got a company expert in front of us who can tell us all about the plans for this company and where it's going to. We're not going to benefit from the expert in the role we're going to be talking to and ask them the potential for this role, the opportunities, again, their needs, how we can help them. We won't have done any research, so we're probably going to ask them questions on a complete tangent. If it's a general insurance actuary job, we'll ask them about pensions or life insurance. If it's a company which is massively growing, we're going to ask them about why they're contracting. We're going to make sure we don't understand anything about the company or the people asking us, so we can ask questions which really give a bad reflection on us and don't show that we've done the research, we don't care about this job. Under duress, we would make sure to go straight in questions about the pay and the benefits. What are we going to get out of the job? Maybe ask about the sick pay. We're not going to think about the value we can add and only worry about the pay once we get to the end of the second interview or beyond, when that negotiation would happen naturally once both sides know that this is a good deal for both of us. So hopefully that's a very quick run through of 5 ways you can instantly fail an interview and avoid ending up getting a great job working as an actuary or a similar job. Of course, I'm being sarcastic just to make a point, but it is surprising. I've done a lot of interviews in my time, how many people make these kind of simple errors which could really you know, make the difference between 2 good candidates, one getting it and one not. So if you're getting a lot of interviews but you're not getting the second interviews, or you're not getting the role, maybe just check that you're not doing any of these obvious things which could be a blocker to you getting these great jobs you want. And all I can say is good luck on the day of the interview. Try and stay focused, try and enjoy it. I know it's difficult, but you know, they're there to try and understand good candidates. They're not there to make you feel bad. They want you to do well, because everyone needs good candidates. So you know, keep your confidence up, keep going, even if you've had some knockbacks. You know, it's not unusual for people to be interviewed 10, 20 times before they find a good job. So please keep your spirits up and good luck on the day. Thank you. Bye.